You understand it?
Yeah.
All she's doing is speaking what grandma has already said. You have to realize, as a Christian, your job is to just speak what Jesus has already said. You ain't trying to make nothing up new. You ain't trying to reinvent the wheel. You ain't trying to come up with no new revelation. All you're doing is just speaking what grandma has already said. The authority is not in you. It's in the words that grandma had already released.
Yes.
So when you declare what grandma has already declared, there is power in what you say.
Yeah.
And that power is only there as long as you are declaring what she has already declared.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, that is the definition of confession. The word confession, the Greek word homologo for confession, that word homo means saying or to say the same thing. Homologo, saying, and logo represents language. So to say the same thing is confession. That's what it means. That's the literal definition of the word. So when you say what God said or what God has already said, then that is confession. That's what a confession is. I'm just saying what God, I'm saying the same thing he said.
All right.
That's not, I'm not making that. So if I say by his stripes I'm healed, I'm just saying the same thing that he already said. I'm not making nothing new. I'm not looking for nothing new. I am just declaring what is all. And see, God is looking for somebody to declare in the earth what he has already established in the heaven. That's all God is looking for. God is looking for somebody who has enough boldness in him to say down here what he has already seen.
Yeah. All right.
That's all he's looking for. Because when you say what he has already said, now he comes in to perform what you just declared.
Yeah. Yeah.
He comes in to do now.
Yeah.
And that's what happens when auntie says something and mama don't go in there and do what she said. Now here come grandma. To establish, yes. Comes in now to establish or to set in line what's out of line. See, I can't let you get away with that. Because what she said, see, if you ignore her after I put her in charge, one day you gonna ignore me.
Yes.
God said I can't let that happen. So if you ever ignore her, I'm coming in swiftly. Because I have to keep the line of order. See, order, respect, authority has to be set in. You have to keep it there.
Yes.
Because as soon as you stop establishing, then it gets or becomes chaotic.
That's right.
And so you have to keep that line there so that order will remain there. All right, got that. Dealing with authority. Okay. So he says here, I have given you authority over all of the powers or abilities or capacities. That's what the word power means. Power represents ability or might or capacity, able to do something. I have given you authority over all of the powers of the enemy. Whatever he trying to do, don't panic. Don't go with what you just heard. Don't believe what he just said. He says, because I have given you authority. Oh, listen, he didn't say he wasn't going to try nothing.
That's right.
He says, but I have given you authority over all of the world. Whatever he tried, I have given you authority. Oh, see, the Bible says, if you will allow it down here, then God say, I got to allow it up there. He says, but if you down here will arrest it, then I will arrest it up there. But if you will allow it down there, then God says, I have to allow it. Why? Because I put it in your hands. Okay, let me give you, let me make that point to you. Why didn't God stop Eve from eating from the tree? Why didn't God step in? Why didn't God stop? All the trouble that happened because of that simple fruit that was eaten, why didn't God just stop her? Why didn't God just come in and slap the thing out of her hand and say, didn't I tell you not to eat from this tree? Go over there where you're supposed to be. Why didn't God step in? Why didn't God stop? Just think about all of the lives that have been lost because she ate from the tree, because Adam ate. Think about all of the trouble that has happened, all the bloodshed, how Cain killed his brother. All of that started because this woman and this man ate from the tree. Why did God not stop them? Didn't God know? God knew all this stuff was going to happen. Why didn't he stop it? You know why he didn't stop them? Because God had said, I have given them the world. I have given them the authority of the world. I have made them the heads of this world. This world, this earth is in their charge. They are the ones running things down here. So they have the charge over what's going on down there. And so when he said, let us make man in our image and give them charge over the world, over the earth, over the created things, and let them have dominion, when he said that, he was not bound by his own word.
That's right.
When God said, let us make man in our image and in our likeness and give them dominion and put all things in their charge and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, the fowl of that. When God said that, he tied his own hands.
Yes, sir. Because he was committed.
When he gave them the world and said, let them have dominion, he put it in their hands. And from that point, they had the right to do with it as they pleased.
Yeah.
Even though they did the wrong thing, they had the right to do it because it was theirs to do.
Yeah.
He delegated, he gave it to them. He put it in their hands. And they made the wrong decision, but it was their decision to make. He told them up front. He says, if you eat from this tree, then this is going to happen.
Yes.
They made a decision to eat from the tree, and what he told them was going to happen, happened. Their decision. It was their decision. So what we have to understand from that is that God has put you in charge. God has given you authority. And it's not just going to automatically happen. It is up to you to bring to pass in your life what God has declared over your life. It's not automatic. There's a whole lot of stuff. God said, my desire is that all men be saved.
Yeah.
He said, my desire is that none be lost, but that all should come into the knowledge of the truth. Is everybody going to be saved? No.
No, sir.
But the desire of God is that nobody be lost. But there are people who have to get in line with the will. They have to get in line with what God has declared, what God desires. And if you don't get in line, then that breaks the chain. Because you are the one who's in authority. You are. You don't look at God and blame God, not over stuff that he has put in your hands. He's put it in your hands. All right, so he says, I have given you authority over all of the powers of the enemy, and nothing by any means shall harm you. Nothing. Nothing by any means shall harm you. This is the declaration of God. Nothing by any means shall harm. So the righteousness that I've received from God gives me authority, listen to this, over all of the powers of the enemy. All of Satan's ability, all of Satan's power, the righteousness that God has given to me, the righteousness that God has declared me to be. When he raised me up from the dead, that righteousness that was attributed to me has given me authority. It is a higher kind of life. It is a higher type of life. Okay, let me say it like this. We did this study in our seminar. There are different types of life, the Bible says. Different types of life, different types of life. An animal has a type of life. A plant has a type of life. The Bible even says the celestial